grid. Lucas Blanford, join me in the commentary box. Hello.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Thanks. What brings you to Whilton Mill this weekend? Here to watch the racing?
Yeah, here to watch racing and driver training. Kart 67, Oliver Meek.
Okay.
He's doing all right. Just needs to get a few confidence, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's and confidence in these sort of conditions is quite crucial to have, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Whilton Mill is definitely a very hard track, especially in the wet. It requires a lot of experience and confidence, definitely.
Yeah, even more so in, like you say, in these conditions, because it's not wet, it's not damp, there's a dry line with a damp outside of the track, so it's, you come off the racing line and it's like, oh no, and it's, so it needs 100% concentration at all times.
Yeah, definitely.
But these sort of conditions, you've raced here many times in these sort of conditions as well?
Yeah, many times. Second in the championship at the moment, so it's just unfortunate that I can be out there with them.
Yeah. So you're just going to watch now what happens in this one, and just, you're going to congratulate the champion as they cross the line on this one.
Yeah, sadly, but well done to whoever wins it.
Yeah, of course. Where are we in the championship points? You've highlighted them, thank you. Josh Salvadori then leads the championship points, 992 from Joshua Turnbull. Like I say, Lucas Blanford, who's sitting right next to me, third in the championship. Michael Dalton, Victor Hansen, of course, in that one. Daniel Moore, that's Amore, was last year's champion in 2021. Obviously not in this class anymore. How many points do separate them? There's only a handful, 5 or so. So it's going to be a close one at the end of this one. Who do you think is going to take it? Who do you think's got the confidence in this one?
Oh,
that's a bold call as well, isn't it?
Definitely. Turnbull's been looking strong all weekend, really.
Yeah.
Josh has definitely been the most consistent out of both of them.
Okay, so be a crucial one to see then. Obviously, a bit of waiting time that these drivers have got before they head out onto the circuit. This race is due to start at some point. I don't actually know. Usually there is a little message on my screen when it's supposed to start, but it's not appeared. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge for these drivers, of course, and it's it's the last round of the season. A lot of these drivers, for some of them, it's just a hack. It's just a weekend to have some fun in and not worry about it. But what would a driver be thinking right now? Last race of the season, let's just go out with a bang.
Well, obviously the top two in the championship, they'll be wanting to go for it because obviously only 5 points separate them. So it's kind of whoever beats the other wins, basically.
Well, yeah, in fact, that's how racing works, Lucas. There you go. I think you've hit the nail on the head with that one. But yeah, you can see the next group lining up, waiting to go. That's the Miami Cadet class, who are all going to be eagerly watching this race. And of course, Minimax is a class that has some pretty fierce racing in it, doesn't it? Because they're not at the junior level yet, but a lot of them are just squeezing into that sort of area now, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely one of the toughest categories to be in.
Sort of like elbows out.
Yeah, don't really care really.
Well, I'm sure they do care. But I think there is definitely some boisterousness about them as they go through, because they're not that. It's not cadet racing where it's all line astern, push, slipstream, all of that, and then it's not junior racing or senior racing. It's just that in between. It's just So you get some pretty decent racing out of the Minimax category, and like you say, busy old grid in this one. So lots these drivers are going to be going through for these final couple of sectors. But you've had spells in juniors now, haven't you?
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, my most recent one didn't go to plan.
Yes, we won't bring that one up.
Yeah,
but
we're going to that one.
But what sort of major differences would you expect from going from a mini to a junior? Is it purely the extra power?
Yeah, pretty much. But obviously, the throttle application is you've got to be more smooth with it, whereas a mini you can kind of floor it in a way. But with junior, you've got to be very gentle with it, as if you've got traction control.
Yes, yeah. So it is literally just that little bit of extra power. To put it into a concept that I would probably know is motorbikes.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've got let's say a 125, like a Honda CBR 125, fantastic little bike. I highly recommend them. They're great fun. But you could just go full throttle there, fully twist the throttle and just go for it, and it'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then you step up to something like 600cc. And then yeah, you can't do that anymore. Otherwise, the front wheel goes up. You've done an endo, and then yeah, it's all gone wrong.
Doesn't end very well.
Doesn't end very well. So basically, exactly the same principle on this one. Yeah, these are a 125, and then the juniors are a 600 in bike terms. Obviously, that one. They're all 125s, cc engines, of course. They're just slightly restricted. These ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
So quite a lengthy delay that we've got. Before getting the minis out on track. I think that is just as they are clearing up after the last race that we had.
I think there's an incident at turn 2.
Yeah, turn 2. Well, as we say,
Yeah.
revs fire up and we get underway. Drivers will head out for their formation start. Now, we talk about formation starts, and obviously people watch them on the live stream and they just say, oh, you know, that looks all right. That doesn't look too difficult to drive like that. How difficult is it to stay in such a tight formation?
Well, obviously you've got to watch out for getting a nose gun, because if you get a nose gun in the formation lap, your race has already ended.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the most embarrassing ones is spinning it. You don't want to be doing that, because you're not going to embarrass yourself, but you'll screw your race over.
Yes.
But it's quite hard to do that, especially when there's only one dry line and the rest of it is wet.
Yeah, because of course coming over the line, someone's not going to get a decent getaway, and I think it would be the line who's got the inside line going in towards turn 1, because of course the racing line goes across the track. So whoever's starting effectively on pole position on the outside line, because pole is on the outside here, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. You've got the more optimal drive off the line. Yeah, so
like seeing someone go over the grass.
Hey?
Might be seeing someone go straight on at turn 1.
Oh, we might definitely see that. We did see that earlier on in this one. Here we go then. Minimax final about to get underway. The final Minimax race of the season into the tram lines, and it's a false start. So
quite spread out there.
Section. Yeah. So they've got to be careful that one. They've got to bunch it up. Like you say, it's not easy, is it?
Yeah.
It's not easy. Got to watch out for it. Lucas, you got lots of love on the chat. You got some people saying hello. Oliver Webster.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Lucas. Toby Bedford.
Oh, the good old Toby.
Yeah, he's saying hello to you as well. So and of course, drivers saying hello to drivers as well. Good luck to Emily Cotty as well. That was Daniel Otto saying that. RM, good luck to Ethan Carney as well. So do get your comments in. Let us know who you are supporting. Lucas is the owner of the Great F1 League. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What? Tell me more.
So basically, I've got this F1 League that starts in January. We've got over 30 drivers so far, so we're hoping to increase that before January.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. There you go. Get involved in that one. Oh, and apparently you're a good friend too. There you go.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
You'll take that. Good man, good man. Here we go then.
Round 2.
Yeah, take 2 on this one. So hopefully they've all closed up now and they're going to get going this time around. Out of the final corner, they'll go then. Salvadore on the right, Smith on the left, into the tram lines. Green flags out. We're off and racing. Great start then from that front row. And it was a great breakaway from Salvadore. He managed to close the gap as there's a spin in the mid-pack.
Ryan Gill.
Yeah, Ryan Gill there now gets himself back into a straight line and straight off the track under braking. What on earth happened there? Foster under braking. I think, was it an avoidance of going into the back of someone of those tyres?
He got hit from behind there.
Yeah. Well, you think it was hit from behind? I didn't see his head go back. I just saw him just spear off the circuit. So
that wet line.
Well, yeah, exactly. It could just be one of those. So obviously a much longer race this time around, 12 minutes for their final. And as drivers tried to negotiate their way around the track, of course, this will be the first time that they've done a lap around here today on slick. So for a lot of these drivers, it's going to be into a learning curve straight away, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
For a lot of these drivers. Across the line they go then. Salvadore leading the way, 53.49, fastest lap of the race as he crosses the line. Oliver Smith still there in P2 from Joshua Turnbull. Like we say, Turnbull needs to gain those points, so he needs to try and close that gap up as much as possible. You think in these sort of stages where you have the start of that race, it's now you've just got to try and get into a rhythm now as Turnbull sends it down the inside.
There. Lots of contact there.
Yeah, it's got to be very, very careful as Dalton tries to get involved.
Oh, even more contact.
Oh, dear. Oh, no, and Turnbull's off the track.
Hansen goes down the inside now.
Yeah, so Turnbull now well down the order, tried to go for the move, and yeah, that's not ended well for Joshua Turnbull. He's got a lot of work ahead of him now. You know, luckily that happened at the start of the race.
Not the end.
No, long way to go as Oliver Smith gets himself a contact warning. So the 38 currently sitting in P3 now, and Michael Dalton's just said, oh, well, thank you very much. The driver is currently sitting 4th in the championship standings, now up into P2. So currently 2 seconds down. Like you say, so for a driver like that, so if you're Joshua Turnbull, you know, you've just tried to go for a move, you know it's for the championship and it's all gone a bit wrong, you know, what's going through your mind now?
Just got to keep it calm, not get too hot-headed. Yeah, you've got another 9 minutes to make all that back up, so there's no point losing your head. Yeah, that early in the race.
Yeah, of course.
Makes a move while we speak anyway.
Does indeed. So as it's all starting to kick off here, as Turnbull, who's now back into
more contact there.
P3. Yeah, these drivers are really
going
shopping and changing. Yeah, Luca Brooks just in the back of this group, the number 75. So they cross the line then. Salvador leads by 1.6 seconds from Michael Dalton. Then you've got this group of 4. This is Smith, Turnbull, Hansen and Brooks, who are line astern, twitching under braking there. It's so sketchy when you're just trying to find the traction out there, because I suspect trying to get the temperature into the tyres right now is incredibly difficult.
Especially with the track temperatures being so cold.
Yeah. So they've got to really watch out for that one. Now you saw there Smith taking a very defensive line as Turnbull goes down the inside at Wilkins, and Hansen follows. Brooks tries to make the move as well. This is more like a cadet race. You lose 1, you lose 4. Yeah. Now the rest of the pack is closing in. The number 60 of Charlie Neave, Ethan Carney, Ryan Gill also now have closed into this group. Of course, this is the battle for 3rd place that you're seeing here, but Turnbull now, who has got that clean air at the front of this, has got to try and find 5.2 seconds to catch up to just 2nd place.
And another 1.6 to Josh Salvadori.
Yeah, so a lot of work ahead of him there. Do you reckon that could be done? 8 minutes?
Depends if Dalton and Salvadori start fighting, but I don't think it's possible, personally speaking.
At that far behind so much, yeah, you can see there that your race leader in 2nd place, they're going into Bat Ogiers now, and you know these guys are just going through Wilkins, so Wilkins and Ogiers.
Quite a big gap to find.
Yeah, so quite a big gap to find. A lot of real estate between the two of them. So as they go through there, you can just see they're now getting back involved. Ryan Gill, after that early spin, still within touching distance of a potential podium, and straight off the track was one of the crop promotion carts.
I think that's Luca Brooks.
It was indeed, and there's another car off there as well, the 81. So Noah McNicholas and Luca Brooks off the track. I don't think that they collided with each other.
Yeah,
I just think I think it was just 2 drivers straight off, and that just shows that turn 1, it may be you watch all the videos on YouTube and everything like that of everyone going flat out, but if you just take that wrong racing line, or there's just a bit of a jink of the steering, or you hit a bump the wrong way.
Turnbull's back in it now.
Oh, he is, yeah. Battenberg flag is out, so
just what Turnbull needed.
He did indeed need that. I suspect Josh Salvador was not happy about seeing that flag come out. I can imagine some fruity language coming out of his mouth after seeing that.
Top 3 in the championship, top 3 right now.
Yeah.
Just shows how close it is.
Oh, and there's another driver straight off there.
Emma Cotty, I think.
Yes, I think that is the 148. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Emily Cotty. So again, just shows very, very tricky out there still.
A tiny bit off the racing line, that should be gone.
Exactly. Reminds me of the Canadian Grand Prix 2011.
Oh yeah, Sebastian Vettel in the final lap.
Yes, caught him out. Catches out the best of drivers, you know. So don't take yourself too much harm on this one. You know, if you have a spin, never mind, brush it off, crack on.
Exactly.
You know, every time you have an incident like that, you learn from it. So it's just experience as you try to gain in this one. So 5 minutes remain in this race, and we saw how spicy it was for P3 earlier on.
Can't imagine it for first place now.
Yeah, it's all going to be down to what Josh Salvador can do just to try and break away from this pack once again as they all concertina back up. Are they going green flag this time around? I see a... No, I don't see a green flag ready, so no, we're going round for another lap. So again, drivers will be rapidly trying to maintain temperature in the tyres. Rachel Bullard, I was timekeeping that Canadian Grand Prix. Longest race of my life. Give me a Minimax final any day. There we go. It was the longest race. Actually, that race caused the FIA to make a rule. The 2-hour rule, where a race could not extend over that time because it was the longest race, and so now that rule exists because of that race. So there you go.
Thank you, Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah. Thank you, Canadian Grand Prix. Well, they're too long as it is.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the sprint races?
No, there's not enough action. I don't think.
Not enough action in them.
Well, for the first 3 laps, I think there's loads of action, whereas for a full race, there's action the whole way, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's strategy in that.
It is strategy, isn't it?
There's Oliver Meek.
Yeah, and he's watching the rest of this final from the sidelines, unfortunately. Wagon roll no more. So you can see there all the karts that have gone off the track. You can see the different lines there. I'm not sure if that was a quad bike, Marshall quad bike, or a kart. So because that's a very interesting line there in the middle of the grass. I'm not sure who's been all the way out there.
Green flag this time round.
Yes, indeed. Race will restart with 4 minutes to go then. Your top 3 in the championship are 1, 2, 3 on track. Green flag out, and it's a bad start.
Salvadori's had a terrible start.
He has. So Salvador has now dropped back into P3, and Michael Dalton leads the way. So Dalton now up into P1, in towards Christmas Corner. Constantina under braking as Turnbull squeezes down the inside but can't quite make the move. Salvador then also under braking, just locks up and just gives him a gentle nudge into the apex, but they all squeeze their way through cleanly as down the inside is straight off the track. Who's that? It's the 21. It is Hansen who's off the circuit, and Hansen won't like that as he wheel spins that
in the
car.
championship off the track at Ashby's.
Yeah, he's just digging that kart further into the mud there. He's got to be careful he doesn't get that beached, and he has got it beached. He's had to get out and pull that kart off the grass. But your top 3 now, a much better start then from Dalton. Dalton leads, but Turnbull is closed in. Side-by-side action here as Neve dives down the inside of Ryan Gill. But Gill gets that switchback move again. And Turnbull here, back for the race lead, is now all over the back of Dalton as Dalton is scrambling to try and find any traction in those tyres. Dalton then out of Christmas Corner just holds on to the lead, doesn't lose it, and you've got to think Salvador at this point, and look at the direction change there as Dalton just slams the door closed going into Ashby. Salvador will be liking this because he's now got momentum to get through. Side by side for the race. He's 3 wide. And Dalton's round. Dalton round and has fallen down the order and the kart stalled. He could be out of this race. Smith now back up into P3 as Salvador, after that terrible restart, now retakes the lead with 2 minutes to go. Well, goodness me. This is all starting to kick off now. Ryan Gill's back in this one. He's in P4. 2 minutes left on the timer then, and there's a bit of real estate, bit of breathing air now between Salvador and Turnbull. Turnbull there in the number 10, P2. He's got the pressure of Smith behind. Smith not going for the move though. But, well, that's not what you wanted to see going into the end of this final, is it?
Definitely not. The 3 championship rivals as well.
Yeah, that is definitely not what you wanted to see. 90 seconds left to go then on this race. And it's all starting to shake up now. Salvador, who's in the best possible position he can be in right now. He's leading this race. He's leading the championship. So he'll have to see what he can do in these last 1 minute and 20 seconds. Turnbull is starting to close that gap, though. Turnbull's not done quite yet. Yellow flags out through Sector 1. So I think a driver off at Christmas Corner looking for a helmet. I can see a Marshall there. I can just see his high vis. So Turnbull lifts up the radiator cover, tries to cool the engine down.
Bit of a gap to third place now.
Yeah, so they're starting to break away, aren't they? So Turnbull right now at this stage, kept a cool head, has got that momentum, as like you say, there's Dalton recovering with a huge lunge down the inside, and there it's starting to kick off once again as Turnbull looked like he tried to go for the move at Wilkins. Out of Osiers they go, down into the boot section then. Last lap board's going to be out this time. It's going to be a last-ditch effort for between one of these two drivers. First and second in the championship. Currently first and second on the track as we go on to the last lap then. I think it's the last lap.
Oh no, there's 19 seconds left.
There's 19 seconds left. There's 2 laps to go. Right, okay, so there's not the last lap yet. So Turnbull now looks down the inside, gets it done. That was clean, that was tidy. So has that been enough now for Turnbull to get that done? As again, it's all kicking off in the background here.
Barlow down the inside.
Yeah, Gill just trying to defend that position, but like you say, yeah, Barlow getting that job done. Running in the X-Kart there. So 2 laps remaining of this race. And back here, Salvadori has kept with Turnbull. Turnbull's not breaking away too much.
Still in striking distance.
He is indeed,
but
it
goes onto the wet.
Yeah, goes onto the rumble strip there. So in this position, of course, Salvadori will be okay for the championship, but obviously you want to end it.
Oh, Barlow's off.
Oh dear me, and looks to be in a bit of discomfort there. Does Barlow, and again, very tricky conditions, but I think Salvadori at this moment, and there's another cut off. There's
three people.
There's several cut. If there's something down on the track, and the red flags have come out, so the last lap on this one, the red flags come out, so the results will go back to the previous lap. But I think Turnbull was still leading at that point, so Turnbull will take the win on this one. And you can see there, Josh Salvadori in the background. Obviously unaware of what's happening out on track, but is aware that he technically now has won the championship here this year. Nose cone check though.
Will this change anything?
It's all good for Turnbull. All good for Salvadori. And Oliver Smith, it's all good. So surprising there that it's all good despite, like you say, all the jostling they were doing. Out of 10, what would you rate that race?
Definitely a 10. I was on the edge of my seat.
But there you can just see, yeah, a lot of the drivers there just getting recovered there. But you're looking at the live chat now.
Yeah.
Giving it a good read. But, oh dear, nose cone penalty coming in there for the number 22 Creed. Maisie Creed there, finished in P12. We'll see a 5-second time penalty. That will drop that driver down to about P15, which is a shame. But yeah, like you say, a very challenging race out there, and I suspect the marshalling team have got quite some job to get that track cleaned up, I would say, before the next race. But Lucas, thank you so much for joining me on that one. Obviously, giving your inputs. There's the angry little man shouting again. He does shout quite a lot. But there we go. But I think a very exciting way to end the Minimax season. Like you say, Amy Cadet will be coming up next in just a moment. But yeah, Lucas, thank you so much. And so everyone in the chat's enjoyed having you with us in here. But yeah. I think for a lot of these drivers, it's the end of the championship, and I suspect a lot of them are quite happy down there. We can see a lot of you who are down there at around the apex of Turn 1. If you can hear us, give us a wave. We can see you. I can see a man walking in an ST T-shirt. That man clearly doesn't know what a good car is. And he's still he's not reacted to that just yet. But yeah, I think they're all just more interested in what's happening behind, or just a little further ahead of this camera. So hopefully everyone is okay at Turn 1, of course, because quite a big accident there. But can see that apparently has been now stood up out of the car, which is good to see. Obviously, next race coming up in just a moment's time. We'll bring you that action. Do stick with us. But driver walking into the ambulance, apparently just holding his wrist, so hopefully it is just a wrist injury. Yeah, it's nothing more worse than that. So But at least you could say at this point, yeah, obviously accidents are bad, but at least it's the end of the season, you know. But hopefully he's not going to spend Christmas in a cast. That would be the worst thing to. It might be a struggle to open Christmas presents, I think, at that stage. That'd be,
it's always a pain.
Yeah, I can imagine. But on your sessions, have you had any ones that you've come away from and you thought, oh, I've been lucky with that one? Either it's been it's been a crash and it's not been lucky, or
well, all my crashes have been unlucky.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
Not the best.
But there you go. Yeah, well, there you go. Oliver Webster there. Lucas has an experience in a cast. There you go. Yes, not the best thing to have happen to you, is it?
Yeah, definitely not. Probably one of the most painful ones, I would say, as well.
Yeah. There you can see the ambulance coming back off the circuit. So that driver has been seen to, of course. Marshalling team, the medical teams here at Whilton Mill, second to none in terms of experience. So great to see them and have them here, of course. Of course, without them, we couldn't go racing. So we do thank them, of course, for their fabulous work throughout the entire season. So, been pretty good. So you can see the crowds there, eager to get the next racing underway. Lucas, once again, thank you so much for
thank you for having me.
joining us. And Miami Cadet final. That'll be coming up next. Stay tuned.
Thank you.